I even remember the pen. Ready?
Let's do it.
I am. I'm ready. I guess better flip this up or I might be surprised.
Here.
Oh. All right, we're going to go through the hive for our weekly inspection. We've got 2 supers on this one. We can see some bees at the front, which we like. You can see some bees down in here. Let's see if we got any white comb frosting, as Ted likes to call it, on the top bars. I don't think we'll see it because we added this super on top, not below where they were working last week. So let's take a look.
One of the learning points is notice throughout the video how I always have 2 fingers holding the hive tool, and I don't put the hive tool down because I don't want to take the chance of killing any bees. So you need to get used to this. We discussed it at the February class, but watch for it.
Look at that frost. Whoa. See here?
Yes.
And you can see there where they're, of course, now look, burr comb on top of the frames that are on the plastic ones. Now you can tell why I hate plastic frames. I had to throw that in for Bob's sake. Do we want to pull one and see what they're actually doing?
Of course.
So we still got Black Locust is just finishing up bloom right now, so we might have something here. So let's just take a quick look. We're gonna pull a wood frame, which is usually doesn't have a lot of burr comb on the bottom. Whoa, look at all that nectar, folks.
We need another super.
Oh, yes. Now, you can all tell that's nectar, right? Look at how glistening it is, how pretty it is. And then look at this, we got some guy up here hiding from doing any work. It's funny, you'll find drones hanging around on honey frames. They like to, boy, we got a lot down below.
Yep.
Looking down below, Ted and I can see that the bottom box has got probably a significant amount of honey in it. This is a potential time when you might want to reverse boxes.
Okay.
You want to set that on the other lid, Ted?
Yeah, just so. I want to clean the comb first.
Oh, we got a mess again? Guaranteed plastic frames, huh? Got a little bit on the wood frames.
So when you go to clean the frame, the bottoms of the frame, make sure you hold it with your finger so you don't push the frame out of the box. The bees get excited about that. 40%.
So look at here. Now last week, remember when we looked, we had frost right along here and right along here and right here. Look at it now. All the frames have got some pretty nice frost. They're not really wanting to run away much, are they? Looks nice.
Oh, look at this. So that's glued together.
Yeah. Let's check this one and see if we got any brood again. Remember, we had brood in this middle frame 2 weeks ago. You're probably saying, how do we remember that stuff?
We still do.
We still do, and it's capped. And where it's hatched, look at here. I don't think she's relaying, is she?
Yeah, she has.
A little bit?
Okay, so this is all eggs.
Okay, let's see the other side. She's like to piss us off.
So, but what this tells you is, even in your honey supers, you got to be careful not to kill the queen.
Yep. And if you like and look down here right now, and I can see there's cap brood right down here. So and you got cat brood over here. So we got a significant amount of cat brood upstairs. It looks like it's like it was last week on these 3 frames. These are getting pretty thick with honey. So slip that frame back in there very gently. Glad Ted's strong.
Let go.
Okay.
That's a full super.
Now you see how we set them kind of kittywampus? We don't want to mess everything up. You want to take these off just for now?
Yeah.
These have only been on since last week. I'll lay them over here on the side, out of the way. And you can see how they're putting the propolis around to kind of block them from getting any odor down below. Pretty nice drawn out frames, aren't they?
That one.
Got a comment on Ted's nice, pretty gloves there.
Man, that's a heavy frame of honey. Look at all it.
Shiny. Wow. Look at that.
Let's see if it's today's nectar. Nope.
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 Boy, they're drawing these frames out gorgeous.
Yeah. We got in there. Honey, or we got
Just all nectar. So,
we have brood here.
yeah, but this frame is they're drawing this out well. This is the back side. The front side, not so much. So because it's not a brood frame, we'll go ahead and reverse it.
Yep.
That will encourage them to draw out all the comb. Much lighter. Lots of brood. Okay, larvae and eggs. This is 2-day-old eggs. And then here's the larva.
Really nice looking frame. Got honey in the corners.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this one's not fully drawn, so we're going to leave it facing the rear of the hive. So,
That's brood there too.
okay, so let's go down. Wow.
Look at that. There's no brood comb to speak of on either side. It's pretty nice. Now we're going to
Look how
smoke the
nice
bees
and
down. See how
calm they
nice
are.
and calm they are? Very, very gentle. Now we want to smoke right where we want to use our hands to get here in the things and lift the frames out very gently. So it works really good. You remember, you want to kill as few bees as possible. You spend a lot of time nursing these along to grow. So you don't want to waste your resources. Brood, beautiful. So ideally, to find a brood frame on the outside, and a few drones running around there. Looks like they're dumping a little nectar. Remember the last couple times we've looked at this hive, they've been dumping a little nectar in the bottom.
Yep, they're eggs. These are 3-day-old eggs, or 4th day with the larva. On the 4th day, it's harder to see because the egg is hatched and gone, and it's an itty bitty worm. So yeah, she's back down here laying.
This would be an interesting frame, a lot of open area. You don't see any very much cap stuff, so it probably hatched. We've got eggs down there.
Yes.
Okay, so Queen's doing a good job. Don't see her on the frame. Let's see the
Again,
other
they're-
side here.
3-day-old.
Oh yeah, all hatched out and she's laying back through it. So we've got a lot of day-old to 3-day-old eggs down here, so that's a real plus that our queen is probably downstairs.
This is all eggs. And that's emerging brood, so she should be close. Cap brood and larva. And some eggs right in the middle.
Let's see.
I forgot to bring my scratcher. So up in this corner is all larvae. They're all young larvae. Whew. This frame's light. Oh, I remember putting this in last week. We wanted them to draw it out, and look what they've done.
You got eggs in there?
I don't see any. That is a surprise. Oh, there's eggs on this side.
Oh yeah, there's lots. There's your baby larvae in here, right through here.
Yeah, the top part's all eggs.
Excellent. Now look at how that frame, you start looking right in here. See, the bees are feeding, okay? Look at them. And that's where you'll find all that larva. Remember, the larva's got to be fed constantly. Thank goodness we don't need formula for this. Got a little honey in the middle. Think that's where they're dumping?
I think so. A lot of pollen at the very bottom of the cells.
Whoa, isn't that nice?
That's kind of weird. Looks like they're turning that into a food frame. Okay, that's eggs in the center. Boy, she's laying. That's a lot of frames with eggs on it. Okay, this is eggs and
Turn it
hatched
so you can
larvae
see it real good.
all in here.
Look at them feeding right here. See them? Cool.
I'm going to push this food frame out. Keep the brood inside.
You want to talk more about the food frame, Ted? Why they do that?
When they're coming in, that frame's normally here. They're putting in pollen and some nectar. And once they start packing the pollen in the bottom, and you can tell, instead of nodules, you will see that it's flattened into the comb. They normally don't want to yank it out for the queen to lay. And she'll move on to the next frame, which was this one. But we want brood in the bottom. So that frame's a good candidate to move up. Look at all the capped honey. This is a heavy frame. Yeah, I didn't think she'd be in it. Okay, so with the exception of this frame, it's all brood. So this frame goes to the second deep. And this brood frame goes down inside. A lot of capped brood there.
Remember, our outside frame that was over here was cap brood, so we're going to be in good shape.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh. Thought you took that out of the second box.
No, it's still on the ground. Okay, so this is a second deep frame. They pulled it nicely. And this side has eggs all over it. This side, not. No eggs. So, we'll check this one. Aha! Look, boy, this is a heavy frame. So all this is eggs in this open spot. Yep, more eggs, larvae, but majority of it is capped brood. And look at the honey. So I haven't put one down because I only have one slot open, and I'm hoping I'm going to find the queen, and I can put her down in the bottom. Again, the top is eggs. This lady is one lame maniac. That's also eggs.
And look at here, honey in the corner again, back of the hive.
There's a honey frame, I'll bet. That's all nectar. Same here, all nectar. And capped. That's definitely a honey frame. So what are the odds this is also a honey frame? Merry Christmas. This is definitely an 8-pound honey frame. Just with
nice.
emerging brood.
Yep, they're just filling it in as soon as the brood disappears.
Look at all the nectar.
And this is the frame that was all brood in here
Yep.
3 weeks ago, and now they've backfilled it all with honey. Nectar. Looking good.
So because the frame is so thick, we'll make sure it stays out on the edge.
What was our other deep frame over there? Is it got pretty open or is it mostly honey?
Okay, this one is that frame that they're putting a lot of pollen in. These girls seem to favor the, come on girl, come on, there. Seem to favor the left side of the hive for their honey storage. And this is just a heavy, heavy honey frame. This is the first frame that came out of here. So, where's the queen?
And the super.
Honey supers. So this is a good brood frame. You want to smoke the ends there. Oops. Uh-huh. And now they're all brood frames. We either need a young back or a crane.
Always the hazard of mowing before we do this. You notice nobody's mowing today. Why are we having all this blessed silence? Just about every week my neighbor mows as soon as we start on these hives. One thing I will tell you, just sitting here watching bees coming in and out, the vast majority of bees coming in and out right now, I would say 98% are bringing in nectar, not pollen. There's hardly any pollen coming in, and if you'd have watched Ted working them, you didn't find pollen specks laying on top of the frames.
So, because this super is full and it has brood, we want to move it up. But I don't want to move the queen up. So I want to look at each of the frames And if we find the queen, we'll push her down into the second deep. So all we're really doing is looking
There
for...
she is.
her. Okay.
So here goes the art of herding.
Yeah.
Come on. There she goes.
Nice.
Perfect. Wow, that was almost too easy.
Man. So now we're going to put this one, just much lighter, over here. We got cap brood up here with very little larvae and eggs. And we're going to put this one up that they're working on filling right now. And that one, as that hatches out, they'll come in here and start filling this in. Okay? So you just kind of got to manage. Supering up, supering her down is a big discussion everybody likes to have. In this case, you got a good reason for moving the heavier super up, because she's laid 3 frames of brood up here, and this will negate a half. It'll probably hatch out and they'll fill it as it hatches. So we'll get a full frame of eggs and larvae. Oh, Ted, tip these 2 up. Got to put her pads back on. Get 1 more week on them. I'll slide them in.
Oh, humbug.
Yeah. I was gonna put them in while you guys were talking now. That's okay. There you go.
Closing thoughts?
Ideally, if we had a honey super, we'd put it on.
Yes.
Because of those trees right there. But all the other nectar, the forage out there.
So if you looked around this neighborhood down toward the dam, is just bloom all along the road going to Sakani and all that. I mean, it's everywhere. In the 24th? Yeah. We'd like to have a test question here. How much brood did you think we saw to our students? But we were over 9.
We were 8 in the bottom. That's
Yeah.
always easy when you push it all down.
Yep.
There was 3 in the second.
Yep.
And we got probably the equivalent of 1.5 upstairs in the super.
Yep.
So,
we're
she's
at
doing excellent.
12 and a half.
Yeah.
Well, she's doing phenomenal. This is a great queen. So obviously 16 and these 2 are full. So it's got to be around 22, 23. So heavy honey. We need to add supers.
So the reason we mark all this stuff on here, next week somebody else might be here and they'll know that that note tells them to add a super. So this week we'll go over to Connex, get us another super to put on here, have it all ready to go. But it'll definitely need another super next week. Otherwise we'll start crowding our brood.
Probably will. If we can get one tomorrow, that would be even better.
Yeah. Perfect.